Let's talk about post-hypnotic suggestions within traditional hypnosis compared to advanced conversational hypnosis. The way it's traditionally taught is that there is this kind of afterglow of trance, where after you bring them out of the trance state, they're going to be extra suggestible. And so you're going to give them certain suggestions as they're coming out that are supposed to be some of the most effective suggestions that you give. And they can be a lot more elegant than this, but they're things like every time you see the color red, you'll remember that losing weight is fun and easy. Or every time you breathe fresh air, you'll remember that you are a non-smoker. And these aren't bad, but I find that they're often just irrelevant because it assumes that these symptoms that they came in with, things like weight loss, things like smoking, are the actual underlying issues. That's almost never the case. If the real problem has not been resolved, then this is just guesswork. But if your focus is actually on solving and changing and getting resolution for the underlying problems, then the advanced conversational hypnosis approach is to let processing take over at that point. So instead of giving them something specific, you encourage their mind to keep searching. Processing is the way that the mind continues organizing, integrating, and connecting new insights after the session. What you want to do is prompt their brain, prompt their unconscious mind to go on a deep search that can continue for an hour, a day, several days, even a couple weeks. And during process, you want their unconscious mind to create new connections, new insights, new resources, new meanings, deeper integration. And so if you're giving too specific of post-hypnotic suggestions, or if you're giving them homework, audios, or different practical instructions, those can actually interfere with the processing. And let's make this pretty practical. Let's say that someone came to you because they wanted to lose weight. If we went the traditional approach, it would make a lot of sense to talk about in the post-hypnotic suggestion that they're going to find controlling their diet and exercising as easy as breathing in air. Like, why not? That makes perfect sense. But what if you find that the actual unconscious payoff for why they've been holding on to the extra weight is due to feeling safe, which is due to feeling insecure about who they are, which is due to a toxic family member who's been bullying them since they were a little kid. These surface level problems hold hands with very deep rooted issues. And that deeper issue is what you want the unconscious mind to be busy solving. You might not fully resolve it in the actual session, but you might find enough clarity that that's where the real problem is, that you want to set the client's unconscious mind up to keep going, to keep searching for that way after the session is done. And so if you direct it one way, the unconscious mind might take the excuse to just say, you know what? He said that this is all that I need to do. She said that I can just focus on this very surface level thing. I'll do that for a little bit and then forget about it later. So don't focus on creating the perfect post-hypnotic suggestion. Spend the session giving the unconscious mind insight to the real areas much, much deeper that are the actual problem. Look beyond the symptom that the client is presenting. Recognize that whatever the client thinks the problem is, that is their conscious conclusion about what the problem is. It's not what their unconscious believes. And then you want to keep it extremely simple as you wrap up the session. Remind them to rest, tell them to go to sleep. If they're able to take a nap right after, that's the best thing they can do. Get their mind off of the work, get their conscious mind off of the work. Encourage them to focus on one or two extremely small practical things that they can do, and let them know that processing is going to happen. That this whole process, you can remind them of specific moments of times that they felt slightly dizzy or confused, might continue, and that is the best thing that can happen because it means that their brain, that their unconscious mind is still working on these things even while you're not consciously busy directing it. You want to encourage them to trust their own unconscious mind to integrate the change after the session, and you want to put confidence in it as well. And just remember, I think we need to take a step back and remember what we're doing. If you actually help them resolve an issue, or you actually help them get on the right path to resolving an issue, they don't need a clever phrase at the end of your session to hold that change together. If that really is the difference maker, my guess is you didn't do that deep of work. The unconscious mind is very good at continuing to process things naturally after the session. Don't get in the way of that. This might look like the client continuing to gain more insights after they leave. And it also means that you get to stop wasting time on unnecessary end of session rituals. And it takes the pressure off the client. When you've done real good deep work, it actually is kind of draining. It actually is kind of exhausting for the client. They don't want more stuff to do. They want to be able to just put it out of their mind, get back to their life, and trust that this is going to be resolved on its own time. So the best form of a post-hypnotic suggestion is not a specific language pattern. It's resolving the problem, setting up the unconscious mind to go on a deep search, and trusting it to finish that process.